She has been elevated to the ranks of the Democratic leadership, and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren is wasting no time making her mark, targeting Walmart this week ahead of the holiday shopping season and calling on Congress to pass legislation to raise the minimum wage, regulate part-time work and schedules, and ensure equal pay for women. Issues the freshman senator calls deeply personal. We're back with Dan Henninger, Wall Street Journal editorial board member Mary Kissel, and assistant editorial page editor James Freeman, also joining the panel. Mary, to you first. Senator Warren says it's deeply personal. What does she mean by that?
Well, Senator Warren is moving to the left of everyone else in the Democratic Party, including President Obama. So she fancies herself a populist. She wants to connect with the average person, and to do that, she uses her own history, the mythology that she had a hard time coming up through the ranks of the academic elite until, of course, she landed at Harvard and became a millionaire. But, you know, set that aside.
Is that mythology?
Yeah, well, yes. You know, she didn't grow up dirt poor. She had a very good career. Yes, she worked hard. But to say that Elizabeth Warren was oppressed by the system is a fiction, Stuart.
James, she's jumped on the anti-Walmart bandwagon, where the left traditionally goes to bat.
Yeah, first they picked McDonald's to blame for all of the problems in the Obama economy. I don't know where anyone got the idea that a fast food joint is responsible for giving everyone in the country a high-paying job. But now they've moved on to Walmart, and this is, again, a union effort to organize Walmart, to pressure them, to force higher wages, a lot of regulatory costs that are coming here. It's an amazing thing where the Democratic Party has come to, where they basically spend most of their week harassing businesses, preventing pipelines from being built, preventing new jobs from being created. And then they turn to employers and say, where are the high-paying jobs?
Dan, is this a serious challenge for Hillary Clinton in 2016?
Yeah, I think so. Do you mind if I get really cynical on this program?
Well, go for your life, son.
All right, look, this Elizabeth Warren thing is all about campaign fundraising, all right? The one thing we found out about Elizabeth Warren in the last election cycle is that she's really popular out there and she can raise large amounts of money. That's kind of what is at the core of a lot of political activity now. It's now a business. You need millions, and that's why she's been elevated. Now, she's doing it by appealing to the left that has money. Hillary Clinton, if she's going to run for president, cannot get elected solely on the left-wing vote. She's got to run down the center. So how she squares herself, because she's a good fundraiser too, with this Elizabeth Warren on the left, raising these issues for the purpose of raising money while defining the Democratic Party as the party of the left, is a circle that's going to be really tough for Hillary to square.
It's also tough in the primaries, because that's the committed voter in the primaries, and Hillary will have to shift to the left to bind in those committed voters. It's the primaries where we will see a real tough time, I think.
That's right, but you have to appreciate the irony of this rally against Walmart this week. You know, who needs everyday low prices? The poor? We don't want that, do we, Stuart?
That's cynical, just like Dan.
Sorry,
see?
we must be rubbing off on
Well, where do the Democrats stand in this? I mean, President Obama's to the left, Elizabeth Warren is further to the left, Hillary Clinton will be dragged to the left in the primaries. What about there is a group within the Democrat Party that is centrist, James?
Well, a disappearing party. I think Barack Obama has really remade the Democratic Party. This is not the party that Bill Clinton led in the 90s. And so for that reason, I think Elizabeth Warren would beat Hillary Clinton if they were to face off in Democratic primaries. It is now a much more left-wing party. It's almost, as Dan's written so well about, they basically pushed the private economy out of the room. And so you're left with hardcore activists, as you say, and I think Warren probably gives them a much more compelling message.
But how strong is that political appeal? Elizabeth Warren says the system is stacked against you. The deck is stacked against you. That rings with a certain proportion of American voters, doesn't it, Dan?
If it did, they wouldn't have done as poorly as they did in the election 2 weeks ago.
In a presidential election, they would perform a lot better.
Well, look,
it's class warfare, Stuart.
And are you saying that is a failing?
Elizabeth Warren's policies are to the left of President Obama's. They're more damaging and more dangerous. She doesn't just want to raise the minimum wage. She wants more spending to forgive student debt. She's let the regulatory state run wild. It'll appeal. Who does it appeal to? Who does it appeal to? It'll appeal to some part of the population that wants those
yes,
handouts.
but has 8 years of President Obama dragged the country sufficiently to the left where a leftist appeal is a winning appeal? You say no?
The answer to your question, most recent Wall Street Journal poll, yes, most Americans do believe the deck is stacked against them. Our political, our economic system, this has surged. It was only about a third of Americans 12 years ago. Now, most people are saying it's stacked against them. But then when you dig into why, I think the hard left message has a tougher go of it, because a lot of people feel like the government favoring certain industries, green energy, for example, discouraging other industries, legitimate energy, for example, has created an environment where a lot of people are dissatisfied. So it's kind of a fight over who's the cause of your troubles.
I think the last word's going to Mary.
The Republicans have to stake ground as against crony capitalism. They have to fight crony capitalism. They have to distance themselves from their connections with government, say, this is bad, it doesn't give you all a chance, we're for freedom, entrepreneurship, opportunity. They've got 2 years to give that message, and let's hope that they
just
they
give me a year of 4% growth and you'll turn the mood of the country all around. But that's just a personal opinion. All right, when we come back, this week's brutal attack on a Jerusalem synagogue raises fears of a new intifada. But it's President Obama's response to the massacre and other global threats that has my next guest losing sleep.